money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here on 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Getting through downtown on I-35 southbound this morning is not an easy task. We have an accident just before Old Torres Street, blocking off 3 right lanes. Just the left lane gets by, and it's causing under an hour of delay starting from Airport Boulevard. Also, a crash is being worked on FM 812 at FM 973. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
0628.
No power? No problem. With a whole home backup generator from Abacus. Abacus offers professional Generac installation with extended warranties, financing, and now certified Generac maintenance plans. Abacus, you can count on us.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Estimate based on your neighborhood average and individual results may vary.
When I saw how high my property tax bill was, I was shocked. We couldn't afford this, but I discovered Ownwell. Ownwell reduced my property taxes and saved me over $1,000.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be protested and they can be reduced. But instead of filing protests yourself and very possibly losing your appeal, Ownwell does it all for you. But hurry, protest deadlines end next week. Ownwell has reduced property taxes for hundreds of thousands of Texans and put money back in their pocket, and you can be one of them. And unlike other companies that take half of whatever you save, Ownwell charges just 25%, and that's only if you save.
Now I don't worry about my property taxes. Ownwell reduces it every year.
Sign up now, free. Don't pay unless you save. But hurry, protest deadlines end next week. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Less than 1% of water on Earth is drinkable, and humans are using it faster than nature can replenish it. Reduce the amount of water you use in the bathroom by taking shorter showers and turning the water off while you brush your teeth. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horde. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Hordes, 1300 The Zone.
Gotta get a shot up. Julius Randle guarded by Green. Randle kicks it out to the corner, and the three-pointer is good. And it's already a better start for Minnesota. Jonathan Kuminga, a little redemption on the other end. Pajemski pushes it. Here's Kuminga exploding to the basket for a jam. It's a matchup they want. They clear it out. Butler picked up his dribble. And now 6 to shoot. Kuminga gets a step on Gobert and dunks it down on Gobert.
With the fouls he's expecting to get. Those are all soft contact.
Julius Randle out ahead of the pack. Steve Kerr calls the timeout, and the white flag is up. Minnesota Timberwolves come back with an answer and a response in game 2, and they win it 117-93.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland,
Leander, and Silsbee, Texas,
or wherever you may be listening. This is a Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. The NBA continues to be madness. Draymond must be stopped. Texas softball has a scare, and now it faces its rival. Texas baseball has its last home regular season series. Zach Sim of OrangeBloods.com will talk to us about that. And Parker Coleman of KView will join us at 8:17 talking all things Texas. We have more from Coach Sark, and Paul Pierce is that dude. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And Marcus is behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Also, we're going to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Jason Aldean. All you got to do is use that new and improved iHeart Radio app. You know, the one that you got on your presets. We'll receive your message, and you might even hear it be called as you get a chance to win some tickets. You just heard the opening. The Timberwolves come back and get a victory against the Golden State Warriors, 117-93. This was much needed. They got better play out of the guys that they needed it from. Anthony Edwards was a more efficient, still not aggressive enough for me, but it's okay. His team went out and won 117-93. Julius Randle led the way with 24 points. Jimmy Butler took control of that situation. He had 17 points. They finally played Jonathan Kuminga in the absence of Steph Curry. He had 18 points. But the story of this matchup was at one point, Anthony Edwards gets landed on. He goes out of the game, and everybody's worried about him. He comes back. It looks like it was nothing. Dude landed on his leg. But the story continues to be one Draymond Green.
A tough call because all he's trying to do is draw the foul. And now Draymond is just yelling at the official, very, very frustrated. Got to get control of his emotions. I understand the frustration because I don't think there was any intent there. But the referees are calling the game the way they expected it to. Steph Curry now trying to calm him down. Draymond making his case, which Steph understands.
And for the 15th year, Draymond Green gets the Oscar for the most likely to succeed in sports by not acting like he really is trying to hit somebody, but he's really trying to hurt somebody and hit somebody.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. When is somebody going to whoop his ass?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Well, old boy tried to, and he got knocked out at practice.
No, he didn't try. He didn't have what it took.
Right. Somebody has to stop Draymond.
See, now he didn't act all hardcore and willy-nilly when Ron Artest was out there.
Nope.
And Ron Artest pulled his punk card.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna go on Hardge and pull the black card on somebody.
Yeah, we'll hear.
Listen,
from that
we don't need you pulling the black card.
Right.
I have one, and if I decide to use mine, it's gonna be for the benefit of somebody's welfare. Somebody's, being injured or taken advantage of. Not a basketball game.
Right.
Not me defending, me flailing my arms, or me kicking people as I'm going down, or me diving on Joel Embiid's leg and injuring him Joel Embiid is Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
He don't need any help from Draymond to miss games, but he did.
Yeah.
Draymond Green is stacked up. Is a history. It's a history of uncontrolled, just irreprehensible behavior.
Yes.
So I'm done with him. And you hey, listen, if somebody out there from Associated Press and they know Draymond and they hear this, tell Draymond Green to call into our show, because I'm a debate with him on the fact that he does that to people that he know won't whoop him, that won't challenge him. He wouldn't have lasted a season in the 90s.
Right.
He would have fought Charles Barkley. He would have fought Shaq. He would have fought Ron Artest, Antonio McDyess.
Oh, yeah.
He would have fought. There's about 30 guys he would have had to fight.
Rick Mahorn.
Oh, my goodness. Great.
Charles Oakley.
You get in the beginning of the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 100.
Yeah.
It's 100 guys. These guys today.
Like the gorilla?
Just like it.
He would have had to be the gorilla.
Man, Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
I double dog dare you to do that to Ben Wallace.
Or Rashid.
Or any of the Wallaces. Anybody named Wallace, leave him alone.
Young Hakeem.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, like, it's disrespectful to the game. It's disrespectful to me as a black man for him to go out there and say what he said. The NBA is painting a picture of the angry. You painting a picture of the angry black man.
Exactly.
By doing all this garbage.
Yep.
And take it. Listen, if you want to fight, oh my God, there's so many celebrity fight leagues. Show me that.
Yeah.
Gore would knock your face in. Gore whooping everybody. If you're a celebrity, a football player, basketball, he'll punch you in the mouth. Go call him out.
Yeah.
But leave these basketball players alone and go and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And I'm done with it.
Well, Draymond Green obviously is the story, and they say Draymond will never, ever stop being who he is.
They review here. Yeah, it's got a chance. Got a chance to be upgraded to
the
flagrant
foul
one.
will stand on Naz Reid. He fouls him right there. And so you're looking at after the call what happened, and Draymond Green.
And not only that, here's the statement about the quote-unquote angry black man.
You look like the angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family. And I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal when it comes to that conversation, and I'm glad you voiced it the way that you did, Mark, and I'm glad you got that off your chest. But here's the truth of the matter. You walk like a duck, you sound like a duck,
Your fella's like a duck.
and you are a duck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. If you look at your history, everybody always talks about innocent until proven guilty. You have been guilty on all accounts. And to your point, Draymond, why is it that you feel like you have to use that type of conversation about you? The truth of the matter is you are the problem. We gave you love when you deserved it. You went out there, you played hard the other night. But your actions continue to be borderline
out of control.
Yes, you are a suspect in every situation. You are normally found guilty
in every series.
Here's the biggest thing for me in this particular conversation. You were on the verge of being suspended if you would have got another technical. Your teammates have told you, your coach has told you, and I'm sure the front office has told you. Draymond, learn to walk away. And here's my last thing on this. When has a technical, after they go and review it,
been reversed? Never.
Bro, they've already gone to the monitor. They gave you the benefit of the doubt by even going to the monitor.
Not never.
And now here you are, and our conversation is taken away from the fact that, number one, you're missing your best player. Number two, you've already won a game in a series that people didn't have you in. And number three, if you get suspended, you're not helping your team.
No. And you know what, on top of it, you know what looked really disrespectful to me is when Steph Curry comes to tell you, hey, man, chill. You gloss by him. You push by him. The coach, Draymond, relax.
Yeah, man. It's not that serious,
You gloss
bro.
by him. You push. You show no respect for your team. You show no respect for black people when you say something like you said. This climate that we living in, the last thing we need is for more foolery.
Yeah, and he's definitely giving us that. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Coach Sark, a little bit more of that interview. And, of course, we've got a special announcement about a football game that happens this season right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Getting through downtown on I-35 southbound this morning is not an easy task. We have an accident just before Old Tourist Street, blocking off 3 right lanes. Just the left lane gets by, and it's causing under an hour of delay starting from Airport Boulevard. Also, a crash is being worked on FM 812 at FM 973. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Cordell & Cordell.
Cordell & Cordell. Divorce and family law. CordellCordell.com. 866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $50,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com. Together, let's drive.
Running a fleet is expensive. So what happens when you cut the fuel bill by 10% with a Coast fleet card?
We're saving money and time, which means we're able to take better care of all of our vehicles and our techs, plus our bottom line. Coast has been a real game changer for us.
With Coast, you get smarter spending, stronger security, and real support when you need it. Set spending limits, track purchases in real time, and stop unauthorized transactions before they happen. Coast works anywhere Visa is accepted, so you're not limited to overpriced or out-of-the-way gas stations.
The customer service is way above the company that we used before. Along with the extra security, it's worth saying again, total game changer for us.
Go to coastpay.com/sports and learn how to save an average of 10% on your fuel bill with Coast. That's coastpay.com/sports to save 10% on fuel with Coast. Coastpay.com/SPORTS.
Coast card products are issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts are subject to credit approval. Actual savings may vary. See terms at coastpay.com. The spokesperson and characters in this ad are actor portrayals.
Spurs Sports Academy summer camps are back, now in San Antonio and Austin, June through August. Choose from a variety of camps for boys and girls of all ages and skill levels. Get elite training, court time, custom awards, and appearances by Spurs players and more. Lock in your spot now at spurs.com/summer camps.
Attention construction superintendents, contractors, and event planners. If you're in the market for a temporary rental fence, call Viking Fence today. The same company that is so reliable with permanent fences can save you time, money, and headaches. Located in Central Texas since 1972, Viking is highly committed to prompt and courteous customer service. Our flexible pricing plans allow you to fix your costs or hit your budget. Ask about our damage waiver rate that will eliminate untimely chargebacks. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 or visit us online at vikingfence.com. Again, call 837-6411 or visit us at vikingfence.com. When you think temporary rental fence, think Viking.
Hey Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right, customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hardworking, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Made for This Mountain exists to empower listeners to rise above their struggles and face the mountain in front of them. So during Mental Health Awareness Month, focus on your emotional well-being. Tune into the podcast and climb that mountain.
You will never be able to change or grow through the thing that you refuse to identify. The thing that you refuse to say, hey, this is my mountain. This is the struggle.
Listen to Made for This Mountain on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Made for This Mountain.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, covering the 40 acres.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Coming up in the next segment, we'll talk Texas baseball a little bit as we got an update on one Texas Longhorn, as he might be making a return sooner than later. But right now, we want to listen to more of Coach Sark, as Coach Sark had his time with Josh Pate. But before we get into that, I wanted to let you know that an announcement was made yesterday regarding Texas and Texas A&M football game coming up next season. And one of the things that everybody was trying to figure out is the game going to be on a Friday? Is the game going to be on a Saturday? Well, yesterday it was announced that the Lone Star Showdown, Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown, will be set for Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, Friday the 28th at 6:30, with the Texas Longhorns hosting the Texas A&M Aggies as they make their return trip to Austin. It'll be the first time that the game will be played on the holiday weekend on Friday since 2007. 2007 was the last time that this game was played on a Friday. So a lot of folks
there
are
won't
excited
be any
about
high school games during that day, will it?
I wouldn't think so. And Texas plays at night, so we'll see what ends up happening during that time. So it's going to be fun to get that game back on Black Friday. Black Friday, folks. You got to be careful out there. But I wanted to let you hear a little bit more of Josh Pate's conversation with Coach Steve Sarkisian. Coach Sark talked about what it was like in the good old days.
Your point. You're talking about having a sense of time. There's that quote from The Office. I wish I knew I was in the good old days before I've left them.
Yeah.
But the nature of the good old days is most of the time you have to be removed from them to reminisce on how great they were. So there's a lot to be gained from knowing you're there in the moment. You're talking about it in your walk of life. I know I'm in a sweet spot in my walk of life right now. Do you have like an appreciation of a sense of time like that? You can't slow it down. It's always marching.
Yeah.
But do you have an appreciation of time like that, given how hectic your day-to-day is as a head coach?
Much better today than it was, 15 years ago. Much better. Look at this.
Yeah.
I'm the head coach at the University of Texas, right? 15 years ago, man, I didn't think that way. I was thinking about what's next, where are we headed, what's next, focusing on the end result rather than the process. But now I'm much more equipped to slow down and to take each day, each moment within the day and give it the appreciation that it deserves. Because I don't think I used to do that in my past. But I definitely today feel comfortable in saying that and knowing that, man, I appreciate this opportunity, right? 4 years ago, guys like you weren't coming here to interview me before the season. and now here you are, right?
It would have been in a very different vein.
Yeah, and
no draft picks.
Yeah, no,
are you
what the hell's
serious?
going on here? And so, like, I don't lose sight of that. Like, we've earned a lot of these things. Let's let these things blow by. Let's appreciate them for what they are and appreciate the people that do want to be around our program for all the right reasons.
That's a powerful statement.
What great insight.
That's a powerful statement when you sit and you think about the fact that this interview would be doing a lot different if Texas would have stayed in that 5-7 range. And he may not
even be
the
here.
head coach of the University of Texas. But
you look around the landscape of Texas sports, you don't see many coaches going 5-7 in anything.
No, and they
marbles,
find a way.
tiddlywinks.
Yeah, they keep it moving in the right direction. So for Coach Sark looking at it and I appreciate what Josh Pate said too. I mean, his brand has grown so much because he's got the ability to talk about high level stuff
and success.
And that is where we are too. We're part of we're the flagship station for the University of Texas athletics, and we're in a sweet spot.
Can we pat ourselves on the back a little bit? Like
try to help it. We're not going to be Steven. We're not going to be Steve Smith.
We're doing all right though.
We're
doing all right.
We're in the right spot right now with the craziness in college athletics and the ability to talk about it every day and got this platform. But, one thing that I've always appreciated with Sark is his ability to be honest with his players about his past.
The teams that we watch that win every year, one of the commonalities is the group of guys is really willing to go over the cliff because they believe in their leadership. They believe in the head coach. They're willing to play extremely hard for him. When you get guys here, when you talk to them, I know you guys do like Culture Wednesday, for example, and you're trying to open the hood beyond football. Just talk about life. You've lived one.
Oh, yeah.
How brutally open are you with your players just about your past?
I'm very open, because they all have an idea. And now, especially some of the players that are in year 3, right? They have a pretty good idea of the life that I've lived. And I wouldn't change my life for anything. If it weren't my life, I wouldn't be here today. But I want them to know what shaped me and how I got here. And so to do that, I have to be really honest with them. I have to be open. I have to share. I have to talk about the adversity in my life, some self-inflicted wounds, some not self-inflicted wounds. But I believe the really good teams, to your point, do take on somewhat the personality of the head coach. I need them to know who I am and what I've been through, and because that's what I'm trying to instill into them. This level of grit, this level of resiliency, this level of mental and physical toughness, the ability to respond to the adversity that gets thrown at us, not only in real life, but on the football field. That's kind of who I am, right? That's been my story. That's been what I've had to do. And so what's my best way to instill that into our team? Get to know me, get to know what I'm about. All right. And then let me get to know you. And then let's work on some of those things. And let's create an avenue between each and every player that they can share with me. They can get close to me in a way where maybe it's unique, maybe it's not. I don't know. It feels unique to me. I feel like we have something special here that way that allows me to tap into them in a way that's differently than maybe any other coach tapped into me.
You know who he is? He's a preacher. Because he's a preacher that's an expert at football. That's expert at getting people together in the same room. It's hard to do. It's hard to get everybody on the same page. He's a great conduit to get everybody together. You don't go to a church and the preacher has been without sin.
Right.
That he's been pristine, clean, pure as the driven snow. You can't tell me how to fix me if you ain't never been nowhere and had no struggles.
Right.
This dude had struggles. He been somewhere. He fought the demons, the big demons, not the baby demons. He fought the big ones and won. I'm going to listen to him.
Right. He's a leader of men.
Yeah.
And you got to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with anybody else. And that is where Coach Sark has really taken the bull by the horns in that fashion, to the point that, hey, man, I've got scars, and this is how I've scarred myself, and this is how I've repaired. This is the certain things that I've had to do to get to this point. So it's enlightening to so many other people that are coming in with all of these struggles. But one of the struggles that he has had, and a lot of people are very critical of it, is his play calling at times. And he's an elite play caller. I know we always give him a hard time in certain situations, but every 30 seconds, he has to go through it for 4 hours.
Alarm clock goes off on a game day.
Yeah.
To the time you're on team bus, you're getting to the building, you're going through warm-ups, you're back in the locker room, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, take the field, they give you the headset, you may do a pregame interview, 2 questions, and you're out. Yeah. And then it's boom, and everything and it's gotta clear the mechanism.
Yeah.
And it's 4 quarters, and to us, it's 3.5 or 4 hours. Yeah. To you, what does that time even feel like?
Well, first of all, there's nothing better than game day. Like, I get up like it's Christmas morning. I'm so excited on game day. When I step on the grass before the game, I go out probably a little earlier than most head coaches, because there's, to your point, there's so much other stuff. You got recruits there, you got donors there, you got all, the stuff, the music's playing. And sometimes I just want to get into my space, into my zone. I have to kind of get myself into this space, to your point, that is almost a little bit of a silo, to think very clearly and to be clear-minded and to be focused. But then when the moment hits, right, when that ball gets kicked off, to put it into perspective, think about making a decision every 30 seconds. Imagine if you're sitting at home and for the next 4 hours, your wife asking you, what do you want to eat, every 30 seconds.
Man, I don't know.
When you say, I don't know, that's called a delay a game. Every 30 seconds, you're making a decision every 30 seconds for the next 4 hours. And so what happens is, when it's all said and done, there's this odd feeling of you're exhausted, but yet you're still amped up.
Yeah.
Like you have to find a way to get yourself to come back off of that, because you're on, you're literally on for 4 straight hours.
I'm going to set my alarm for every 30 seconds. I want to alert every 30 seconds for just 1 hour today and see what that feels like.
Well, don't do it during our show.
No, of course not.
Coming up next, we'll continue the conversations. Great insight by our guy, Coach Sark and Josh Pate. That was a great interview. Coming up next, we're going to talk Texas baseball last home series as they take on the Florida Gators right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
3 right lanes are blocked off by an accident on I-35 southbound before Old Torrey Street, causing over an hour of backup starting from Airport Boulevard. And to make matters worse, on I-35 southbound at Airport Boulevard, a separate accident blocking off the right lane just happened. This is causing a 10-minute delay from 290. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on family favorites when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get USDA Choice T-Bone or New York Steaks and fresh Atlantic salmon fillets for $7.77 per pound with digital coupon. And 24 packs of Dasani water for $4.97 each with digital coupon.
Graduation caps are fixing to be flying and summer plans are heating up. So why not kick it all off with a brand new Chevy from Covert Hutto? Check out deals like $12,250 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST, $4,000 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Tahoe Premier, and $4,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Equinox LT. See dealer for details. Covert has been family owned since 1909 because trust, value, and Texas pride never go out of style. CovertChevyHuddle.com. Together, let's drive.
Football fans, the countdown is on. The rookies are ready. The matchups are heating up. And it's time to plan your game day. TickPick has you covered with no hidden fees and the lowest price guarantee. So whether you're heading to a rivalry game or just want a weekend experience, you'll pay less and get more. TickPick gives you all-in-one pricing and the lowest price guarantee. They're so confident, they back it up with their best price guarantee. Visit TickPick.com and score your seats before the best matchups are gone. $10 off your NFL order with code FS10 on the TickPick app.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we're so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the DebtBlue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there's absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-375-1158. That's 800-375-1158. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-375-1158. 800-375-1158.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start May 14th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Texans and rookie wideout Jaden Higgins agreed to a 4-year deal worth $11.7 million. This is the first second-round pick to receive a fully guaranteed contract. The Dolphins and 7th-round pick Quinn Ewers agreed to terms on a 4-year rookie deal. NBA playoffs, the Timberwolves never trailed, crushed the Warriors by 24 to even the series at a game apiece. I'm Ronta Moss.
This is 11-year NBA veteran Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Thrivent. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because the most important thing isn't what you're planning for, it's who. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Texas baseball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Coming up in the next segment, we'll be talking Texas softball as they get a huge victory. But right now, we want to talk a little bit about the Texas baseball team. It is their last home series of the year in SEC play, and Texas playing its first year in the SEC. We've had a lot of success. I want to put it out there right now. We want to apologize. Well, I want to apologize. Completely messed up and did not have our call yesterday with Coach Schlossnagle. Got caught up in the MRI situation, and now we are looking at one of the best series for Texas coming up this weekend. There's a lot of good baseball that will be played this weekend, but right now we want to focus on Florida Gators. The Florida Gators are 11-13 on the season in the SEC. Texas, the number 1 team in the land, is 19-5, 39-8 overall. And Florida is 33-17. This Florida baseball team is kind of unpredictable, kind of like the entire conference when you sit back and think about it, because Texas, although coming into the conference, we did not know exactly what Texas was going to be. We knew they were going to compete. They got the best coach in the league, and now they are sitting at the top of the conference. And yesterday we got a chance to meet with a couple of the players, Andre Duplantier and Kimball Schuessler, two guys that are the cornerstones of this Texas baseball team. And the conversation was surrounding senior day, to be quite honest with you. And a lot of these guys, Dre, who has been referred to as Unc, is a 6th-year senior who will be participating in senior day this weekend. You also had a report on Kimball Schuessler, a guy who started off at Texas A&M, ended up having a real hard conversation with Coach Sloss at the time, transferring to the University of Texas and now becoming one of the fan favorites. There's just so many different guys that have been a part of the success and the turnaround of not just this season, but the success of the program. You look at through the years and you look at what David Pierce was able to do here at the University of Texas, taking them to Omaha. Didn't win it, but he got them there. Coach Schlossnagle coming in with the first season, bringing a new staff, bringing new pitching coach, and changing the way that this team prepares. It has been one hell of a ride, and it's shocking because the season now is almost over. As I said, this is the last home regular season, and you get this team at home. You get the Florida Gators at home. So tonight's game will be at 6:30, first pitch. You can watch it on ESPNU, but you can hear Craig Way and I believe Keith Moreland on 103.1. Tomorrow's game will be at 1 o'clock, and that game will be on SEC Network Plus. But you will have you will listen to it on AM 1300, The Zone, right here on The Zone. And then on Sunday, 1 p.m. first pitch, you can listen to that game on 103.1. But during the presser yesterday, we got a chance to talk to Coach Schlossnagle, and he brought up Max Ballou. And here's the latest on Max Ballou, former Big 12 Player of the Year, who was off to a hot start before he injured his thumb. And we got an update yesterday.
Yeah, so Max has been progressing. He's swinging the bat. He's hitting he's doing light hitting right now to try and build up tolerance, and got to be careful in the volume of swings since he's been off for so long. We've sped up. We've done more of him standing in against live pitching, so he can get his timing going, see, get his eyes accustomed to live pitching. If he keeps progressing at the manner that he has this week to this point, maybe next weekend a little bit, maybe. His thumb is it's fully healthy now. It's just a matter of handling the pain tolerance as that'll go away over time.
Well, I got to get acclimated.
Yeah,
and that's always for an athlete, the fine tuning is always a point of contention. I'm happy that he's at the point to where he can actually focus on that rather than the healing and rather than the getting well.
Yeah, because you start to look at the timing at the plate is a big thing. So him being able to go up to the plate, see live pitching, because yesterday he got a chance to face live pitching while we were there. So he got a chance to actually see it, tracking, getting the timing back. The swinging is going to take care of itself. It's that hand-eye coordination while you're at the plate and being able to recognize certain pitches, whether it's lefty on lefty, righty versus lefty, however he goes up there, and you want to be prepared because, as Coach said, I believe he's going to be ready for the the Oklahoma weekend, but not really ready. But he'll definitely be ready for SEC tournament.
Okay,
and
good.
of course the regional, as Texas more than likely will be hosting a regional. We'll talk to.
We talked about that briefly yesterday.
Yeah,
like getting used to the speed of pitches, and I told you I went to that machine.
Yeah,
and 80 miles an hour scared me to death.
Right.
Like, so I'm sure that him coming back, he's got to start at the 80 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour, see what 100 looks like.
And it's all about the release point too, being able to get back to knowing where you want to watch and look for the ball to be able to be released, because you can go in there and see it. It could come in there, but you want to make sure that you're tracking properly to get your eyes trained to be back in the heat of battle. Because the one thing you don't want to do is come back too soon, take a bad swing, and then you end up messing up your thumb again.
Yeah.
We will have our guy Zach Sim at the top of the hour. We will ask him about Texas' chances for a regional, who might be in it, and of course this huge senior weekend for the Texas Longhorns. When we come back, we will talk Texas softball. That's right. Came down to the wire, and of course it's your best player that delivers right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
3 right lanes are blocked off in an accident on I-35 southbound before Old Tour Street. It has you all tied up starting from Airport Boulevard, causing over an hour of delay. And what's worse, in the backup of this crash on I-35 southbound at Airport Boulevard, a separate accident blocks off the right lane, causing a 15-minute backup from 183. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Cordell & Cordell.
Cordell & Cordell. Divorce and Family Law. CordellCordell.com. 866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Leo Schofield spent decades in prison for a crime Jeremy Scott later confessed to. Season 2 of the hit podcast Bone Valley investigates how Jeremy's violent past unfolded and who else may have suffered his wrath.
This is a case that should never happen. If I told him you got it wrong, you got the wrong man.
Listen to Bone Valley on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Bone Valley.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hardworking, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Rocket.com is the new home for all things homeownership. Whether you're buying your first home, finding your next one, or unlocking home equity to fund one of your dreams, there's only one destination that has everything you need to get started all under one roof. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why My Lowe's Rewards members get a free paint or exterior stain sample to test your look and find the perfect color to confidently refresh your space. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid in-store only, 5/8 through 5/14. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
It's almost Mother's Day, and you can now get anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. So no, you can't order a relaxing shower, but some beautiful flowers, you bet we deliver those. A bird bath? No. A bath bomb? Absolutely. It's no to a chocolate lab, but yes to some chocolate truffles. So whether it's a last-minute gift for Mother's Day, fresh groceries, or food from your favorite restaurants, get it delivered today with Uber Eats. Order now. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horn. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Find your iHeartRadio everywhere. There are hundreds of ways to experience iHeartRadio at home and on the go, beyond the iPhone and Android app and at iHeartRadio.com. Here's another way to connect to iHeartRadio. If you've got a Roku TV, then you've got iHeartRadio right there in your living room or bedroom. iHeartRadio is available on every Roku TV, Roku smart soundbar speaker, or Roku players. And with Roku's voice search, you can easily access your favorite artists or radio stations with simple voice request. Your iHeartRadio music, radio stations, and podcasts now on your big screen TV with Roku. Check it out for free now. iHeartRadio. Anywhere you want to listen, iHeartRadio is there.
This is your home for the Round Rock Express, 1300 The Zone.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we will have an opportunity to talk to our guy, Zach Sim of OrangeBloods.com as we prepare for Texas baseball. But right now, I want to give you an opportunity to win a pair of tickets to go see Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean, August the 16th at the Moody Center. All you got to do is get over to that iHeartRadio app, search for AM 1300 The Zone, tap that red microphone, and leave the keyword of the day, and that is guitar. Guitar is the keyword of the day for a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Jason Aldean August the 16th at the Moody Center. You can also leave us a message anytime you want by using that talkback feature on that iHeartRadio app. All right, let's get into it. Yesterday, big time matchup in college softball as the Texas Longhorns softball team was up against it. They jumped out to a huge lead and ended up having to have kind of a miracle worker happen at the end.
Pitch Henry hits it high and deep to right field. That's not coming back. Over the scoreboard, a 2-run shot. 6-1 Texas.
Big time home run early in the ball game as Texas jumped out to you heard it correctly, a 6-1 lead, but they ended up having to come from behind, and clutch is clutch. Mia Scott, who ended up playing all 9 positions earlier this week, well, she just does what Mia Scott does.
3-2 pitch. Scott drives it to center. Back goes Duke. It's over her head. One hops the wall. Maloney scores, and the Longhorns walk it off. Mia Scott comes through and keeps Texas alive in the SEC tournament. A walk-off double for the senior. 7-6 win for the Longhorns. They're now 46-9 on the season.
46-9 on the season. And Caden Henry, who, go ahead, Mark, go ahead. Ken Fowl. There you go. She said after the game, you get punched in the mouth and it's adversity at that point, but it's still being able to make those adjustments, trusting each other and making sure you do what you can on the field. And at the point you're able to push through and get a win that was much needed. It was important for Texas to get that W because now it gives us another opportunity for a big-time matchup as Texas will now take on, guess who, folks? Texas A&M tonight at 5:40 on ESPN2. The number 3 seeded Texas Longhorns take on the 2 seed Texas A&M Fighting Aggies, and the winner will play in the championship of the SEC against the winner of Arkansas, who hit a grand slam yesterday to get their victory, as did Oklahoma gets a victory 4-1 over LSU. So now Texas and Texas A&M will follow the Arkansas and Oklahoma game.
You played quarterback. You threw a touchdown before. Did you ever throw a touchdown to win a game?
Mm-hmm.
You play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hit a shot to win a game? Mm-hmm. You're a hardball hard, so I know you hit one to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
Which felt the best? Which gave you the heat, the sense of accomplishment?
Well, it's
fulfillment.
It's all of the above, really, because being in that situation at that time, you know what is needed for you at that particular moment. There's a reason why they called that play. There's a reason why you were able to get to that point. But at the batter's box, it's different because it's unpredictable. You don't know what pitch you're going to get. You don't know. They got 9 guys out there or ladies out there to try to stop you from getting that particular hit. So I think it's more fulfilling when you hear the roar of the crowd after you get a game-winning base hit or a home run or whatever it is. It's kind of exhilarating. If you go back and you get a chance to watch her at bat, she knew she was going to get a hit. You can just tell by her approach. Her approach was perfect. She was quiet. She was calm. She didn't look overly excited about the at-bat or the situation. And all she did was get barrel there. Ball took off, hit it straight over the center fielder's head, and they walked it off for the victory. But
you make that sound so easy, but everybody knows that the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a fastball.
Right. But if you look at like I said, if you got a chance to watch the video, her approach the entire at bat. I was watching it live while she was up there. She was calm, cool, collected, didn't get overexcited at the plate where she would jump out to the front side like she was gearing up for a certain pitch. She was just like, I'm going to see the ball, I'm going to hit the ball, I'm going to win this game.
What is the advantage of playing every position? I mean, I know you can play every position, but you said she played every position in a week?
She played in a game, one game. She played every position in one game.
Is that just showing off, or you really needed her to go do that?
Sometimes it can be, I can do this. I can do this.
That's showing off.
I guess you would say that. I guess you could
say that. So you pitch,
that.
You catch, you play first, second, third, you play all the outfield positions.
Yep. She did it all in one game.
Come on, man. Yeah. That's showing off.
It's showing your versatility as well.
Hey, but I tell you what, man, I'd rather have that person on my team than for that person to be on somebody else's.
She was definitely, it was a talked about subject amongst the media members. It was a talked about subject amongst fans. But as someone who was fortunate enough to do that, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just the ability. The one thing that you always worry about, though, in those situations, it's not about the pitching part of it. It's more about being the catcher. Because if you're not used to doing that, you can jam your thumb, you can get hit, foul ball. I mean, there's just so many different things that you're not used to.
Right.
So it was it was a little interesting. People
grandstanding.
I like it a little bit.
Go Texas.
It was earned, not given.
And for a coach to allow that is shows a lot of confidence in you.
Well, coach wasn't sure that they were going to do it, and it was not discussed until the game was actually going on, and she was like, hey, I want to play every position today. She was a senior last time. She was like, this is the mark that I want to leave. Yeah, this is the mark that I want to leave. So it was interesting, but she got it done, and now Texas takes on their old rival, the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. Hour number 1 is in the book. Coming up, we've got Zach Sim of OrangeBloods.com talking baseball. We got Ann Parker Coleman coming up at 8:17 as well to talk all things Texas. Don't forget, we got the world's strongest take and so much more right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Discover the true taste of Texas at Mum's Food, Smokehouse, and Delicatessen, where everything is handcrafted in-house, from the mustard to the bacon. Proudly featured in the inaugural Michelin Guide of Texas, they source the finest products from local producers. Visit us at 5811 Maynard Road, Austin, Texas, or find them at your favorite farmer's market. Pre-order their barbecue today. Don't you keep the best delicatessen in Austin a secret. Tell them Mark Henry sent you.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than other media, even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And in retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hey, if you're looking to refurbish your smile or just taking care of your day-to-day dental health care needs, I can recommend a solution. Dr. Greg Eckert. Dr. Eckert has been at it for 30 years now here in Austin, helping folks with dental repair, whitening, cosmetic dentistry, and a leader in full mouth restoration. They can help you make the informed decision about your dental health care. Give Dr. Eckert a call today at 512-345-3166. That's Eckert with a U, U-E-C-K-E-R-T. 512-345-3166 for Dr. Greg Eckert.
In the Northeast, skies are clearing out following Thursday's showers. Expect mostly sunny and breezy conditions from New York to Boston with cooler highs in the low to mid 60s. In the Midwest, the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley remain on the cooler side with highs in the 50s and 60s. The upper Midwest sees more sunshine with temps climbing into the low 70s. More strong and severe storms are in the forecast for the plains. The central and southern plains, including Kansas, Oklahoma, and North Texas, face the threat of thunderstorms capable of hail, high winds, and isolated tornadoes. Warm and humid ahead of that front with highs in the 80s. Summer-like heat continues in the southeast with highs in the upper 80s to the low 90s from Alabama to Florida, along with scattered afternoon thunderstorms, especially inland. The southwest remains sunny and hot with highs in the upper 90s to near 100 across Arizona and Southern California. New Mexico stays breezy with temperatures in the mid-80s. And the Pacific Northwest enjoys a break from the rain with partly sunny skies and highs in the low 60s. Northern California stays warm and dry, 70s along the coast, mid-80s inland. That's your national forecast. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horn. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff, hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. In hour number 1, we talked about how we are tired of Draymond Green and his antics. We also got a chance to let you know that Texas and Texas A&M football rivalry will be on Friday this year. And, of course, we've talked a lot about Texas softball. But right now, we're going to get into the Texas baseball conversation as Texas baseball takes on Florida this weekend as the last home regular season matchup takes place starting tonight, 6:30. But right now, we are joined by Zach Sim of OrangeBloods.com. You can follow him at Zach at the Dish. And Zach, let's get right into the conversation. This Florida Gators baseball team is a team that in the past has brought a lot of energy to the ballpark. They're former champions. They've done so many different things, but now they're coming in and they're playing some really good baseball as well.
Yeah, Florida Gators, I mean, they had a 1-11 start to kick off the season in conference play, which is not ideal, but they've bounced back and they've swept 3 of their last 4 series, winning all of the series, obviously. And that includes beating Arkansas. So they're playing some really good baseball. They've had a ton of injuries. They've missing their second baseman, their shortstop. They had one of their pitchers out for 2 months, but you know, they've had young guys step up. They've had kind of bit part players step up. And so they're playing hot baseball right now. And yeah, they're going to bring some energy to the ballpark as they look to continue that push back into the NCAA tournament conversation.
Well, you brought up the conversation about Fayetteville and the Horns not playing well. Obviously, that it was the first series that Texas really looked like they got handled, but it wasn't necessarily that they got handled. They just couldn't pitch well, and that has not been the forte of this Texas baseball team. What is it that you thought you might have seen during Texas struggles on the mound last weekend, and what do they need to do to get it fixed?
Yeah, you look at Ruger starting off, he didn't really seem to have his sharpest stuff. That was his 3rd appearance in the last, I think it was 11 or 12 days, and that accumulates. You know, you know how it feels to be out there grinding, and so it just wears on you, and maybe you're not as sharp with your fastball. And what I saw was that they were staying off his fastball completely because he couldn't really land it. It was missing too far inside. And so then they just started sitting breaking ball. And again, if you don't have your best stuff, and Schlossennagel talks about this all the time, you don't hit the good breaking balls, you hit the ones that are over the plate that aren't landed perfectly. And that happened. And so that kind of started almost like a spiral, right? Where everything just kind of felt like it got away from them really, really quickly. And they weren't able to match the energy, and they never could kind of get into a rhythm. And then, you know, on the opposite side, I think all the credit goes to Arkansas pitching. Is just Zach Root had his best performance of his entire career. Gage Wood coming back from injury as he slowly rebounds looks like, from a metric standpoint, one of the most elite pitchers in the nation. So just an accumulation of all the bad things at once, which, hey, the good news is they got it out of their system, hopefully, and they're able to kick things back off, right? So you usually have one of those every season.
Hard to ask the question that I was going to ask, but Coach talked about Blue being back from injury and getting acclimated. What about the rest of the guys that are injured? Like, can you give us a status report on where everybody stands?
Yeah, so I think at this point you're not going to see a guy like Will Mercer this season. Just hasn't been able to really rebound after re-aggravating his arm. Ace Whitehead has made the decision he's going to take a red shirt this season so he doesn't burn his eligibility. Mendoza is, he's feeling really good. The shoulder's feeling a lot better than what it was. Last time we talked to him, he just said, look, I'm waiting for the approval from Sam, the trainer. and he may need to get there sooner just to figure out who's going to play where. But as far as Ballou goes, I honestly, I would be very surprised if we saw him, except for maybe 1 or 2 at-bats against Oklahoma. I just don't think they're going to try to rush him back. They've been extremely careful with him. And so Oklahoma was always kind of seen as that earliest series that he'd be available. But depending on how this weekend goes, you may not see him at all, except, like I said, except for a couple of at-bats just to kind of see his live pitching.
Yeah, and that's what Coach was talking about yesterday. We met with Coach Schlossnagle, and he had kind of mentioned maybe a couple of bats against Oklahoma, but I do expect to see him in the SEC tournament and, of course, in the regional. We're talking to Zach Sim of orangebloods.com. You can follow him at Zach at the Dish on social media. And Zach, speaking of regionals, Coach Schlossnagle said something yesterday that was actually pretty enlightening. He had mentioned a time when he was at Tulane where he thought for sure his team was in, and he found out right before that his team wasn't in. And then he found out at one time at TCU that he thought he wasn't in, and then they got in. So he doesn't take anything for granted at these particular moments. That's where you and I come into it. So my question to you is, number one, Texas seems to be still that number 1 seed in the projections for regionals. Is Texas, in your eyes, still going to be able to host a regional? And if they win it all or win it, they would be able to host a super regional as well?
For the regional, absolutely. They're locked in as a top 16 seed. They could go 0-6 the rest of the way, and I think they would still get the benefit of the doubt for what they've done to date. Now the argument becomes, are they a super regional host or one of the top 8 seeds? And I think this is where I probably differ from a lot of other folks. Everyone else is saying, look, they're 1 win away from 40 wins. They've got 19 wins in conference. That's basically a lock for a top 8. I've seen a lot of wonky things out of the committee over the years, right? And so there's a lot of recency bias that I see in the committee. And people have to remember, there are athletic directors on that committee, but there's, just like football, there's a lot of folks out there that haven't paid attention.
Yep.
They haven't watched every game of the season. They certainly haven't been tracking, consistency or RPI or strength of schedule or ELO or any of the other stats. And so if you don't finish strong, typically that's a really bad indicator of what's going to happen to you from the committee standpoint. So, I mean, at a minimum, they need to at least get 1 game from both of the next 2 series. If they win against Florida or they win the series against Oklahoma, yeah, I think you probably will lock up a top 8 seed because you're going to be at 20, 21 wins. And I just, last year, if you look at it, A&M had 19 wins and they were the number 3 overall seed. So, again, get a win, get 2 wins, and you're pretty well locked up for super regional.
Zach, in other sports, it's common to see coaches hold people out and just wait until the playoffs or wait until the championship. Is that the same in baseball? Is that if Texas goes and wins the next 3 or 4 games in a row, and like you said, if they lost the next 6, they still be in good standing. Do you hold your good guys out?
Not really, no. Unless you've got a guy that's borderline, just, he's trying to fight through a little bit of injury, but you know that he needs an extra day of rest. No, you continue to roll those guys out, getting that rhythm, seeing the pitches and just being live in baseball is so important. Now, what you do see often is, especially around the conference tournament time, is if a coach just feels really comfortable with where they're at, they'll start aligning their pitching rotation to match up to the conference tournament or to the regional to make sure that everything is just how they want it. Because sometimes you don't want to pitch your number 1 guy in a regional. Now, there's a calculated risk there, right? The other team is going to definitely be pitching their ace against you, especially if you're the host. So you can't just roll out, a Tuesday night arm that has thrown 5 innings all season. But
right.
That's the only time you really start to see folks get held out or, things change around. And again, next week's going to be a short week for Oklahoma, and they have to travel again. And so, yeah, you might see some guys move around, but I think for the most part, Schlossnagle has, kind of stated he really wants to keep things as is, because you keep those guys in those routines.
Well, it's funny that you say that. Being a short week, it kind of plays itself out because you get to be at home this weekend and there is no midweek game. So that will kind of help get that rotation back on track. Before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about a couple of seniors. Yesterday, we got a chance to talk to Andre Duplantier, Big Unk, as they call him, and, of course, Kimball Schuessler. What do you think about those guys and their meaning to this program?
I mean, Dre has just been, such an incredible story where he came in with such hype his freshman year, and he showed so much promise with that fastball and what he was able to do with the breaking ball, that curve of his. And then, he unfortunately got, time stolen by injury, which happens to some players. But the resiliency to come back, and not just come back, but fight through not being the same pitcher, right? Like his arm slot changed, his velo changed, the way he threw changed, like everything had to evolve for him. It wasn't easy like it was his freshman year. And then, to make that decision to come back this year after kind of riding off high last year, right? The team didn't go out high, but he as himself probably had his best year as a Texas player. And so making that decision of, you know what, I'm going to put my body through the grind one more time. I know I probably don't have a professional career, but I love the sport. I love the team. I love the players. Like, I'm going to do this for the team. Like, that unselfishness is just amazing. And then from Kimball's standpoint, Schlossnagel's mentioned before, but this guy is just the ultimate competitor. He loves playing baseball. He too has fought through injuries. He made the transfer when he didn't make the team at A&M. And there's always been guys ahead of him, whether it's been Silas Ardoin, whether it's been Rylan Galvan or others. He stayed true to himself, right? He just competes. And he says, I'm going to go put my best foot forward every single day, whatever the team needs. Hey, you need me to be at first base? I got you, right? I'm going to go become the damn best first baseman you could possibly want, right? And he did. Like, statistically, he's way up there in terms of defensive stats at first base. And so, yeah, just, I think Schlossnagel said it once before, but he set the standard for first baseman at Texas for Schlossnagel going forward.
No doubt.
I think that says a lot because he's coached some really, really good first basemen in his career.
No doubt. Man, as always, we appreciate you. And one nugget we forgot, Dre came in and he actually played some third base when he got to the University of Texas and was in the batting lineup as well. So he's done a lot for this university, and we're thankful for that. And we're thankful for you taking the time today. And hopefully we have a great weekend as the Longhorns take on Florida. Appreciate you, Zach.
Thank you all. Have a great one.
All right. Coming up next, we've got Ann Parker Coleman of K-View, and we'll get her take on this Texas baseball, some softball, and Austin FC. She had a time like no other. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Craig Way Show.
Life is Good by Joe Walsh.
Life's been good, but that's close enough for Joe.
When I see that album cover, for some reason, he looks like Dale Earnhardt to me. With the mustache. Now, I haven't really seen what he looks like in person.
Right.
Or back when it was.
Trust me, if Dale Earnhardt were alive today, he would not look like Joe Walsh. There's not many people look like Joe Walsh how he looks today. Trust me.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
There are two separate accidents making your way downtown on I-35 southbound this morning. The first one is just before Oltorf Street, blocking off the two right lanes, causing delays to start from Airport Boulevard. And then the second accident on I-35 southbound at Airport Boulevard, blocking off the right lane, causing a 20-minute delay from Highway 183. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on family favorites when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get USDA Choice T-Bone or New York Steaks and fresh Atlantic salmon fillets for $7.77 per pound with digital coupon. And 24 packs of Dasani water for $4.97 each with digital coupon.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Spurs Sports Academy summer camps are back, now in San Antonio and Austin, June through August. Choose from a variety of camps for boys and girls of all ages and skill levels. Get elite training, court time, custom awards, and appearances by Spurs players and more. Lock in your spot now at spurs.com/summer camps.
Summer's just around the corner. You remember summer? Hot, sticky, and almost unbearable. That's the one. It was brutal. This is Nolan Ryan. Be ready for another Texas scorcher with American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. American Standard Air. Clean, efficient, and dependable. Nothing better for your hill country home. Invest in your family's comfort. Take my word. Why fry? AmericanStandardAir.com. Comfort the way you like it.
Sleep Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-292-7788. That's 800-292-7788. 800-292-7788.
Football fans, the countdown is on. The rookies are ready. The matchups are heating up, and it's time to plan your game day. TickPick has you covered with no hidden fees and the lowest price guarantee. So whether you're heading to a rivalry game or just want a weekend experience, you'll pay less and get more. TickPick gives you all-in-one pricing and the lowest price guarantee. They're so confident, they back it up with their best price guarantee. Visit TickPick.com and score your seats before the best matchups are gone. $10 off your NFL order with code FS10 on the TickPick app.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. A trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting Sabertooth Zip Ride or Pan for Gemstones. Take the Wild Cave Tour or the Hidden Passages Tour. And there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
The Round Rock Express play here. 1300 The Zone.
It's a crazy, crazy time of year with so much sports that are going on. So what better way to spend your Friday than bringing on Ann Parker Coleman of KView. You can follow her on social media at Ann Parker Cole, #1 on her social media handles. And yesterday, Ann Parker, we had a conversation with Coach Schlossnagle about this coming weekend against Florida. And you asked a question about being refocused and getting that sweep behind you. And what was your takeaway from what Coach Sloss, Kimball Schuessler, and Andre Duplantier all had to say about that?
Yeah, they kept talking about seeing it as a positive, which I think is the best way that you can handle something like that happened. And nobody wants Sloss pretty much said, nobody wants to get swept. That's not the goal. But I do think that there is this underlying mindset of like the teams that have a really, and when I say easy, Texas has played some really hard opponents. They've gotten some hard fought wins, but for the most part, they haven't, as far as series gone, they haven't faced any hardship in the terms of losing or getting swept. They've been dominant. And I think when your path is kind of easy like that, once you get to the postseason, like you need to have gone through a hard loss or a disappointing sweep to know how to deal with just all the ups and downs that postseason brings. So that's kind of what they echoed, was just, hey, you know what? Didn't want it to happen. We kind of knew at some point it happened. We're playing in the SEC. Like, this is just a reminder of how hard this conference is. And he said, somebody asked if it served as like a wake-up call, and he said it wasn't a wake-up call, but was a chance for them to refocus.
Yeah, and he also brought up the fact, too, that I thought was key, is that it happened now, and if it would have happened in a couple of weeks, the season's over. So it's
Exactly.
at least you still have that opportunity to go back out there and go back into the battle for this weekend. And not necessarily this weekend, but the following weekend against Oklahoma, there was a conversation that was had about Max Ballou and his injury. We got a chance to watch him take a little bit of tracking practice yesterday, and it looks like he might be ready to go pending on how that hand feels next week.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Sauce said. I mean, he was walking up for our media availability, and we could see Max Ballou taking some pitches behind us. And of course, that was the thing that we started talking about first. And Coach just said, yeah, he's progressing well. He was, starting to take some live pitches, and right behind us as he's saying that, he's taking pitches from Dylan Volantis. So they're getting him back, and they're just more about getting his timing back and having him do some light hitting and make sure that that's not going to irritate his thumb or make anything worse. And, if he keeps progressing the way that he has thus far, Coach said that we might see him next weekend, and if not, see him by SEC tournament, which is pretty on time. I think when we first heard about this, we hoped and assumed that he would be back by the postseason. So we might get him back a week before that.
Right.
We're here with Ann Parker Coleman, and I'm going to go to football. I wanted to find out your opinion on Texas bringing another quarterback in.
I knew you guys would ask me that. Honestly, I am a fan of it. I think anytime you can bring in more competition, and when I say competition, I mean, let's be honest and talk about competition for that backup role, I think it elevates the entire room. I still think Trey Owens will probably win that position battle. I think it'll be Trey that is the backup, but I think the competition, you need it. Plus, as Steve Sarkisian has been here this entire time, he's never had a quarterback that played through the entire season. Odds are that Arch might be banged up one game and need to sit out. I hope that's not the case. That would be amazing if it's not, but there is going to be a time where a backup, even if it means that that Texas is beating a team by however many points and you want to put the backup in, like, you need to have a backup ready. So I supported that decision. I thought, I thought it was a good move.
Yeah, and everybody else has echoed your sentiment as well as far as the injury and everything else that is concerned with that. I want to go back to the diamond, but this time on the softball side of it, Texas softball with the big walk-off victory to set up a even bigger matchup against Texas A&M. And this softball team has shown a lot of resilience. You know, they've gone from 8 to number 1 and been there for a while, and now they're back to number 3 and 4, and now they get a chance to right the ship against Texas A&M. And Texas A&M is in a place where they have become one of the best teams in the country and proven it. So there's going to be a big battle tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you live for in the postseason, right? You get a walk-off win the night before. Today you're taking on your rival to survive in advance. And I think you hit the nail on the head right there where you said Texas softball has been resilient. They've gone through a little bit of a tough patch. Before last weekend, they were on a 3-series losing streak. They hadn't been hitting the ball as well. And so last night for them to have perform the way that they did, to be resilient and come back and get that walk-off win. I mean, that says a lot about the character of Mike White's team.
So we wanted to ask you a question. You got a chance to go to Austin FC. You had your moments there, but there was a moment where things got a little sketchy for you during that time. Talk about your trip to Austin FC.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, guys, it is, 15 minutes into the second half, and I'm going to go back upstairs. I'm on the sidelines, and I'm going to go back upstairs to the press box, grab my camera and stuff for post game. I get into the elevator there's one other guy in the elevator, my now good friend Mitch, and the elevator goes up, then it stops, then it lurches, and we kind of go through those motions a couple times, and me and this stranger start to look at each other, being like, "Oh, this is strange," and then a little sign on the elevator flashes and says "out of service," and we're both like, "Oh my gosh." In an elevator, if you've never been in this situation, I know what to do. There's an emergency button that you push that sounds an alarm, and then there's another button that you call for help. So we called for help, and they went through asking us a couple questions, and then they said, "Okay, don't worry, dispatch is on their way. They're going to get you out. They'll be here in an hour." And I thought to myself, I was like, I cannot be in this elevator for an hour. Mind you, I went into this elevator and I'm getting ready for a solemn post-game locker room interaction because Austin FC is down 2-0 to El Paso, which is, just to be frank, is
not
a little
good.
Embarrassing for not good for Austin FC. And, luckily somebody came in, they pried open the door. We were able to get out. So I was probably only in there for about 15, 20 minutes max. It's not an hour. We were good to go. But that did mean I missed the most, I think, prolific Austin FC comeback in history. That down 2-0 when I get in the elevator and I get out and they are up 3-2.
Oh my God!
Missed all of it.
And
best game ever, and I missed it.
And Parker, we share something. The same thing happened to me in Hawaii, and
oh my God,
I was stuck for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I was okay.
I'm claustrophobic too, by the way.
And I'm claustrophobic.
As always.
I was okay, but
I'll tell you about it someday.
Yeah. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And thank you for sharing that. And we look forward to next weekend as we find out what's going to happen with Texas baseball, Texas softball, and we'll talk a little bit more football. As always, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. When we come back, World's Strongest Man brings you his World's Strongest Take right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
There are two separate accidents making your way downtown on I-35 southbound this morning. The first one is just before Oldtorf Street, blocking off the two right lanes, causing delays to start from Airport Boulevard. And then the second accident's on I-35 southbound at Airport Boulevard, blocking off the right lane, causing a 20-minute delay from Highway 183. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Crispy chicken nuggets are back at Taco Bell. All white meat chicken, coated in tortilla chip breading, and paired with unique dipping sauces. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Hardball Hardge.
And this is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
And we're here to talk to you about MyPlates.com.
Tell them about it, Mike.
Mark, when you're on the road and looking at the vehicles, what's the first thing you see?
Well, I'm usually a nice car, but the plates, baby.
At MyPlates.com, you can create a plate that shows exactly who you are.
Like the one I'm thinking about, the world's strongest man. Had to let them know.
Come on, you can get colors, styles, slogans. My Plates lets you flex your Texas pride your way.
Big truck, big attitude, and it's better to have a plate to match.
Hit up myplates.com today and put in the promo code THEZONE. That's The Zone, all one word, for up to $55 in savings. And make your ride look as good as you do.
Or even better, myplace.com.
That's the way to go. And tell them Hardball Hardge
and Mark Henry
sent you.
Football fans, the countdown is on. The rookies are ready. The matchups are heating up. And it's time to plan your game day. TickPick has you covered with no hidden fees and the lowest price guarantee. So whether you're heading to a rivalry game or just want a weekend experience, you'll pay less and get more. TickPick gives you all-in-one pricing and the lowest price guarantee. They're so confident, they back it up with their best price guarantee. Visit TickPick.com and score your seats before the best matchups are gone. $10 off your NFL order with code FS10 on the TickPick app.
When divorce puts your life's work on the line, Cordell & Cordell is ready to help you protect it. As a business owner, you've dedicated years building a legacy now at risk due to divorce. Let our experienced family law attorneys fight for you and that legacy. Cordell & Cordell is one of the nation's largest family law firms. Call to schedule your consultation today.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Shop simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. You're busy. So, Leaf Johnson Ford has made it simple. Pick yours at LeafJohnsonFord.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leaf Johnson Ford. Leaf Johnson Ford has made buying a new Ford simple.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Showers early, then partly cloudy for your Friday afternoon. A high in the low 80s. Some clouds tonight, a low of 62. Saturday, a chance of afternoon thunderstorms, a high near 80.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on family favorites when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get USDA Choice T-Bone or New York Steaks and fresh Atlantic salmon fillets for $7.77 per pound with digital coupon. And 24 packs of Dasani water for $4.97 each with digital coupon.
Made for This Mountain exists to empower listeners to rise above their struggles and face the mountain in front of them. So during Mental Health Awareness Month, focus on your emotional well-being. Tune into the podcast and climb that mountain.
You will never be able to change or grow through the thing that you refuse to identify, the thing that you refuse to say, hey, this is my mountain, this is the struggle.
Listen to Made for This Mountain on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Made for This Mountain.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. You heard the beat drop, and you know what that means. WWE Hall of Famer and World's Strongest Man, D. Mark Henry, brings you his World's Strongest Take. Take it away, big fella.
All right.
What's up, man?
You know what time it is?
What time?
It's Mother's Day weekend. And it's time for the World's Strongest Take by the World's Strongest Man, Marcus. Back then, they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. I just told you guys what this take is about. It's about the mothers. It's about Mother's Day. We always associate our sporting events with what the fathers do, with what the sons do, what the daughters do, and daddy daycare and all of that. But you know it. You know it in your heart of hearts that without the mothers doing the quality control, the prep, and then there's also been many incidents of mothers assuming the role as coach. Not just a cheerleader, not just the person that's in the support role, but being the one that actually initiates the passion in the kid, tells the kid you can do more, you can do better. And both of our wives are sports moms. Your wife, she travels with your son doing soccer and basketball, and I'm sure that as soon as Jazzy picks whatever she wants to do, y'all will both be in full support of it. But mom will be there on the day-to-day, every minute when me and you are on this show. My wife right now is in Oklahoma, helping my son move out of one dorm to an apartment. All moms, if I go back to my mom used to embarrass me because my mom was the loudest person in the crowd. I don't know if y'all know the mom that everybody has to like kind of hold her down, because my mom would jump over the fence and come onto the field. She was wild. But I've seen so many videos of mothers grabbing their son and working, showing the kids how to kick step. I just recently saw that video the other day. There's mothers that know as much about football as the dads or more. You know, I got friends that are softball players. Michelle McCool, the Undertaker's wife. She brings her daughter out to football practice with Coach Boswell, where my son goes and works when he's home. I see all these mothers with this power over these kids, and all the kids want to do is win so they can say, "Hi, Mom" on TV. Not "Hi, Dad." They want to say, "Hi, Mom." That's the thing. Happy Mother's Day to all the women out there that sacrifice their own personal times for their kids, and to be there not only for their sons and daughters, but also be there when the husbands can't be there. What say you?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. And this is more than just Mother's Day. This is every day. I mean, yeah, they get represented the one day of the year, but it's every day.
Man,
for
they get
a lot
every
of
day.
moms. I mean, that's what it's all about. And
I can't even pick a restaurant. They get every day.
So yeah, I agree with you about them being able to do more than just the sports aspect of it too. I mean, you always say you can't teach a boy how to be a man if you're a woman, and I disagree with that. My mom did one hell of a job doing that.
So did mine.
I believe that Lindsay's done an unbelievable job with my kids and teaching them the rights and wrongs. And there's so many other mothers that are taking their kids to football, baseball, basketball, soccer, all types of practices, and being able to do that. But more importantly, being present.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to be present a lot of times. And I know that, as a father, you wish that they would say more to you, the kids, that is. But sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm going to find out.
Your mama.
And I'm going to find out anyway, because the communication is there. So it is wherever the comfortability is. But without them, they do everything, whether it's your grandmother, which my kids have great grandparents and outstanding grandparents that just happen to be great. Today, I'm a grandfather because of my son, and my son learned a lot from the women that have been a part of his life. So
I be the baby daddy.
Yeah, I'm that baby pappy. So, you start to look at life as a whole, and you're right. Everybody always goes on the television and says, hey, Mom, and that's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Because Mom, I love you. Yeah, barely. But I think that was an outstanding way to present that.
I missed state championships before working.
Yeah.
I missed it all. And Jana was always there for them.
Yeah, and the kids, obviously daddy is mean and mama is sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What is that?
It's okay. I'll take good cop, bad cop all day long if the success and the leadership is all at the same place. So other than that, I'm cool with it. As our boy Sean Adams used to say all the time, my job is not to be your friend. My job is to be your father and try to make sure that you're doing things the right way. And that's what mom always talks about as well. My mother is in Louisiana watching one of her grandkids walk today. I mean, not in Louisiana, in Missouri, from Louisiana in Missouri to watch one of her grandkids walk today. So it has been a great look, a great thing. And I'm glad that you pointed that out for everybody. So to all the mothers there, the mothers that work here with us, the mothers that work in the industry that we are in, the ones that I know throughout my life, happy Mother's Day. And I hope that y'all have a great, great time. And guess what? Most of you mothers will be at the ballpark watching your kid play a sport this weekend. And so, hey, that's where we'll be. We'll be watching our kids play sports on Mother's Day. So good stuff by Mark Henry, as always. We're going to close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick. But if you say you going to do something, you better do it.
Do it.
And that's what this man did. And we'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
It's the Craig Way Show.
If Jerry Jones does care as much about his fans as he says, try to make some moves that might at least appeal to them a little more than a lot of the moves you made. In other words, like a real personnel person, a real general manager. Make Will McClay the real general manager.
Voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Bonus Bucks. Bonus Bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus Bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Two right lanes are blocked off by an accident on I-35 southbound at Old Torf Street. You're backed up from Airport Boulevard. There's also a separate accident behind it at Airport Boulevard, blocking off the right lane. And a crash is still being worked on Lakeline Mall Drive at Lake Creek Parkway, as well as Decker Lane at Lindell Lane. I'm Jason Fossley with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Cedar Park Overhead Doors. At Cedar Park Overhead Doors, you get a lifetime limited warranty on Clopay garage doors. And for a limited time, purchase the 16x7 Clopay door for just $18.49 installed. Learn more at cedarparkgaragedoors.com.
Running a fleet is expensive. So what happens when you cut the fuel bill by 10% with a Coast Fleet Card?
We're saving money and time, which means we're able to take better care of all of our vehicles and our techs, plus our bottom line. Coast has been a real game changer for us.
With Coast, you get smarter spending, stronger security, and real support when you need it. Set spending limits, track purchases in real time, and stop unauthorized transactions before they happen. Coast works anywhere Visa is accepted, so you're not limited to overpriced or out-of-the-way gas stations.
The customer service is way above the company that we used before. Along with the extra security, it's worth saying again, total game changer for us.
Go to coastpay.com/sports and learn how to save an average of 10% on your fuel bill with Coast. That's coastpay.com/sports to save 10% on fuel with Coast. coastpay.com/SPORTS.
Coast card products are issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts are subject to credit approval. Actual savings may vary. See terms at coastpay.com. The spokesperson and characters in this ad are actor portrayals.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
Leo Schofield spent decades in prison for a crime Jeremy Scott later confessed to. Season 2 of the hit podcast Bone Valley investigates how Jeremy's violent past unfolded and who else may have suffered his wrath.
This is a case that should never happen. I told you got it wrong, you got the wrong man.
Listen to Bone Valley on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Bone Valley.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Earl Campbell here for my good friends at Austin Shoe Hospital. Austin Shoe Hospital has been repairing my favorite boots and shoes for over 30 years. They are the best Western boot repair company in Texas and can repair any boot brand or style. Visit the master cobblers at Austin Shoe Hospital and they will bring all your shoes, boots, and bags back to life. If you wear it, they can repair it. Oh, yes, and hook 'em horns.
Visit AustinShoeHospital.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like the car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns live here.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. If you missed any part of the show, make sure you get over to our podcast page where you can get some of the great interviews that we've had all week long. Today, we had Zach Sim of OrangeGloves.com talking about Texas baseball. We had Ann Parker Coleman of KView talking about Texas baseball, Texas football, and of course, she got a chance to talk about her life getting stuck in the elevator at the Austin FC as they made that win. Also, the world's strongest take by Mark Henry was to let the ladies know Happy Mother's Day to all of you. The NBA has been exciting. There's been so many tough games and close buzzer beaters. And one of the biggest stories right now is the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have come up short. And the reason why we want to talk about this is because if you say you are going to do something, you better do it. And that is what Paul Pierce, former Celtic great, did.
Celtics lose game 2 at home. I promise you, I'm walking here tomorrow. I'm walking here 15 miles in my road. No shot we lose.
Tatum falling away in the baseline is passed. Blocked by Bridges, and the Knicks have done it again. And the New York Knicks up 2-0.
All right, time for me to give the step. All right, man. Welcome to this journey. Here I go. I can't believe this. Celtics got me out here like this, dog.
I tried to tell him not to do it, but he was hard-headed, didn't want to listen.
I'm a man of my word, though. This is crazy, dog. I can't believe this. You be careful out here, man. All right, guys.
Folks were talking to him on his walk. People were sitting on the side watching him walk. He kept his word, and he walked from his apartment, from his condo, all the way to the studio. And Mark, you calling BS on this.
I got to call bull. Shut your mouth. It ain't no way. I'm serious. He did little clips. And he got in the car and drove a little bit with somebody. And then he jump out. He wasn't sweating.
Some people don't sweat, bro. It was California. It's cool in California. And he started in the morning time. It's cold, chilly. He walked in his robe. I believe him.
I don't.
I believe him. I believe that he
I got
was
some farmland.
able to
I got
do
some
it.
farmland in Florida I want to sell you.
Well, hey, where's it at? Let's talk about it. We might be
in
able
the
to get
swamp
some.
over there.
Hey, let me get some of them gators. I need some new shoes.
Listen, man.
I need some new shoes.
He did. There's no way. And he reneged on the fact that he was gonna not wear shoes.
Well, that I don't blame him
because he's a moron for making that kind of.
I believe
careless bet.
He had 33,465 steps yesterday. I'm no mathematician because my math ain't mathing, but he
walked a little bit.
He walked
a little bit.
He walked
15 miles to work is a lot different than walking 4 miles. My math is mathing.
Tell the truth.
He told the truth. They gave him.
Tell the truth.
They let him walk in they didn't walk him in. They actually put him in a wheelchair to walk him to the studio set.
Hey, they should. I was just about to say, this is a guy that got wheelchaired off the floor after taking a fall.
He did it. He's at the studio. He made it. He walked all the way in. Then he tried to run like Rocky at the end of it, and it looked like he was struggling. But
he was definitely on the struggle bus.
He made it in. So, Paul Pierce, I appreciate you. Paul Pierce, you got the respect of everybody.
It's gonna come out.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's gonna come out, and then next week you're gonna tell everybody, hey guys, due to some information that I was not introduced to that I was not privy to last week. Mark Henry said that Paul Pierce was bullshotting all of us, and he was right.
33,465 steps on
somebody
May
do the math
8th.
and get back at me.
Yeah, Yeah,
I'm the Mark Henry on everything.
Yeah, hit him up on his social media. And speaking of our social media, I want to give a shout out to Thomas J. Henry, one of our major sponsors here at the station. He's done a great job with us, and I continue to spread the word. He does great work with UT Athletics as well. So shout out to Thomas J. Henry. He's a sponsor of a lot of our in-between game stuff, and you hear the commercials all the time. And if you want us to represent you and your company, all you got to do is hit us up on our social medias. You can hit us up in our DMs. Mark is at the Mark Henry on all of his social. And of course, I am Hardball Hardge on all of my social as well. Texas baseball, big matchup, last home series. A lot of seniors will be recognized this weekend. Get over to the dish. First pitch tonight at 6:30. You can watch it on ESPNU, but you can also hear it on AM 1300, on 103.1 tonight and Sunday. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. first pitch. You can hear it on AM 1300, The Zone. Tonight, Texas softball takes on Texas A&M, 5:40 on ESPN2. What's up?
Hey, before we get out of here, you want to break the news about Bill Belichick?
I told y'all I wasn't going to do it, man. I told y'all I wasn't going to do it. I told y'all I was going to leave it alone.
Since
I'm going to let you do it.
Since you're not going to do it,
yes,
ladies and gentlemen of the morning kickoff, Bill Belichick's beautiful, young, 24-year-old girlfriend has been banned from all NC sporting events,
UNC
football games, and sporting events. They don't want her at basketball, baseball, golf, marbles, tiddlywinks, jacks, anything. Stay away. Oh, look at he fighting to say he want to say something so bad. But, guys, it's over. I bid you a fine adieu.
I'm glad that y'all talked about it because I've been fighting my tongue as soon as I found out about it. I will have more. I will break my silence on Monday and talk a lot about Bill Belichick. But, of course, we're going to talk a lot about Texas athletics as it's a huge weekend. Shout out to all the mothers out there. Great stuff from Mark Henry on Mother's Day. Shout out to all the graduates. There's a lot of guys and girls who got their T rings yesterday. Congratulations on all that. For Marcus, for Mark Henry, I'm Hardball Hardge. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day. And just remember this, don't believe everything you see because even salt looks like sugar. Peace. Graduation caps are fixing to be flying and summer plans are heating up. So why not kick it all off with a brand new Chevy from Covert Hutto? Check out deals like $12,250 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado